America is not one hunting ground. It is 5 different worlds wearing the same flag. In the hardwood ridges of the east, a squirrel can vanish into bark like smoke. On the open plains, a coyote can slip through the wind before your rifle ever settles. And far to the north, in Alaska, the land gets bigger, the animals get heavier, and the margin for error gets razor thin. That is why the old idea of one perfect cartridge is a myth. There is no magic round that does everything cleanly, legally, and ethically from coast to coast. The real answer is a ladder of power. 5 different types of ammunition, each built for a different level of the American wild. From the tiny training round that shaped generations of shooters to the heavy Magnum that belongs in bear country, these are the 5 cartridges that can cover almost any hunt in America. And number 5 starts with the smallest round on this list. But do not let its size fool you. .22 long rifle. Before America learned recoil, it learned patience. And for millions of hunters, that lesson came through the humble .22 long rifle. This is not a cartridge built to dominate the mountains. It is not made for elk, bear, or heavy bone. It belongs to the quiet places. The fence line behind the farm, the hardwood creek bottom, the old squirrel woods where every sound matters and every movement tells on you. The power of the .22 long rifle is not brute force, it is discipline. Low recoil keeps the rifle steady. Mild report keeps the shooter calm. Cheap ammunition allows practice by the brick, not by the handful. That is why this little round became the first classroom of American marksmanship. Mechanically, its genius is simplicity. A small rimfire case, a light bullet, and just enough pressure to make short-range precision feel almost surgical. Inside 50 yards, in skilled hands, it teaches trigger control better than almost anything else on the shelf. But here is the deal breaker. The .22 long rifle is not a big game cartridge. It does not carry the energy, penetration, or ethical margin needed for deer, elk, moose, or bear. Push it outside its role, and it stops being practical and starts being irresponsible. But inside its lane, it is legendary. For rabbits, squirrels, pest control, and the first serious lessons of a hunter's life, the .22 long rifle is the small key that opens the biggest door. Price per box usually starts around $4 and can climb depending on brand and load. .23 Remington speed is a strange kind of power. It does not arrive like a hammer. It arrives like a needle of lightning, flat, fast, and brutally precise. That is the world of the .23 Remington. Born from the age of lightweight rifles and high-velocity thinking, this cartridge became one of the most familiar centerfire rounds in America. It lives in bolt-actions, ranch rifles, and the legendary AR-15 platform. But in the hunting world, its real kingdom is not massive game. Its kingdom is speed work. Coyotes crossing a frozen field, foxes slipping through brush, prairie dogs posted on open ground. Varmints and predators that give you seconds, not minutes. Mechanically, the .23 Remington wins because it is easy to control. Low recoil keeps your sight picture alive. High velocity flattens the trajectory. That means the shooter can stay on target, spot impact, and make precise follow-up shots without fighting the rifle. But here is the deal breaker. This cartridge has a narrow ethical window on deer-sized game. In some states it is legal, in others it is not. And even where it is allowed, bullet choice matters. A cheap full metal jacket style load is the wrong tool. You need a proper expanding hunting bullet, controlled shot distance, and clean placement. Treat it like a magic deer cartridge, and it will disappoint you. Treat it like a precision predator round, and it becomes a scalpel in a world full of hammers. For coyotes, varmints, and light hunting rifles, the .223 Remington earns its place. Price per box usually starts around $12 and climbs with premium hunting loads. .243 Winchester. Some cartridges are built like sledgehammers. The .243 Winchester was built like a clean blade. It arrived in the 1950s, during a time when American hunters wanted something lighter than the old warhorse cartridges, but more serious than the small varmint rounds. They wanted one rifle that could handle coyotes on Monday and whitetails on Saturday. The .243 Winchester answered that need with speed, accuracy, and a recoil pulse gentle enough to keep new shooters from developing bad habits. Its mechanical brilliance comes from balance. It is based on the .308 Winchester case, neck down for a smaller 6mm bullet. That means it gets strong case capacity, high velocity, and a flat trajectory without punishing the shooter. With lighter bullets, it becomes a fast predator and varmint round. With heavier controlled expansion bullets, it steps into deer and pronghorn country with real authority. The recoil does not shove like a heavy rifle. It whispers, then snaps forward like a hawk leaving the glove. But here is the deal breaker. The .243 Winchester is not the cartridge you choose when the animal gets massive and the angle gets ugly. Elk, moose, and heavy bear demand more bullet weight, deeper penetration, and more margin. This round rewards precision. It does not forgive sloppy decisions. Still, for white-tailed deer, pronghorn, coyotes, and hunters who want serious performance without heavy recoil, the .243 Winchester is one of the cleanest compromises America ever built. Price per box usually starts around $25 and rises with premium hunting ammunition. 30-06 Springfield. Some cartridges become popular. The 30-06 Springfield became American memory. It was born from military necessity in the early 20th century, when the United States needed a cartridge with reach, authority, and battlefield endurance. But when the rifles came home, the cartridge did not disappear into history. It walked out of the armory and into the deer woods, elk mountains, black bear country, and moose camps of North America. That is what makes the 30-06 different. It is not the newest. It is not the flattest. It is not the softest shooting. But it has survived every fashion cycle because it offers something more valuable than hype. It offers trust. Mechanically, its strength is versatility. The case has enough capacity to drive a wide range of bullet weights, from lighter deer loads to heavy bullets built for deep penetration on larger game. That wide bullet selection gives hunters room to adapt. One rifle can be loaded for whitetail in the timber, mule deer across broken country, elk in the Rockies, or black bear in thick cover. The recoil is not violent, but it is honest. It comes back with the firm shove of an old steel door closing behind you. But here is the deal breaker. The 30-06 Springfield is more cartridge than some hunters need. For small deer at close range, it can feel excessive. For recoil-sensitive shooters, it may create flinch if they do not train properly. And for small game, it is completely outside its lane. But for the hunter who wants one serious big game cartridge with a century of proof behind it, the 30-06 Springfield is still standing where legends stand. Not in the museum, in the field. Price per box usually starts around $25 and can climb past $60 for premium hunting loads. 375 H&H Magnum every hunting battery has an upper tier. And for most practical North American hunting, that upper tier has a name. 375 H&H Magnum. This is not the cartridge most hunters need for opening weekend in a whitetail stand. It is not built for casual range days, light rifles, or soft shoulders. It belongs to a different map: Alaska, coastal bear country, remote wilderness. Heavy animals with thick muscle, dense bone, and the kind of physical presence that makes a man suddenly aware of how small he really is. The 375 H&H Magnum was born in the early 20th century as a dangerous game cartridge, created for hunters who needed deep penetration, heavy bullet weight, and a wider margin when conditions turned unforgiving. Over time, it became a global standard because it did not rely on speed alone. It relied on momentum. Mechanically, its genius is controlled authority. The long case feeds smoothly. The heavy bullet carries weight like a freight train rolling through timber. The energy does not feel sharp or flashy. It feels ancient, steady, and final. When paired with the right expanding or solid hunting bullet, it is designed to drive deep and stay composed on the largest game a hunter is likely to face. But this kind of power sends a bill to the shooter. Recoil is heavy. Rifles are often heavier. Ammunition is expensive. Practice takes commitment. For most deer hunters, it is too much cartridge, too much rifle, and too much cost for the job. But that is exactly why it stands at number one. Not because it is the most convenient, because it represents the far end of the American hunting spectrum. If the .22 long rifle is where a hunter learns patience, the 375 H&H Magnum is where power, responsibility, and wilderness consequence all meet in the same chamber. In many stores, a box can start around $80 and climb far beyond $150 for premium hunting loads. The cartridges on this list do not compete with each other. They form a ladder. At the bottom, the .22 long rifle teaches discipline, patience, and the quiet mechanics of marksmanship. It is the small round that starts the journey. The .223 Remington brings speed into the equation. Fast, flat, and precise, it turns predator hunting into a test of timing and control. The .243 Winchester steps into the middle ground, where light recoil meets real deer country. It is the clean compromise for hunters who want confidence without punishment. The .30-06 Springfield is the old American heavyweight, not flashy, not modern, not fragile, just proven across generations, across mountains, timber, and weather that does not care about marketing trends. And then there is the 375 H&H Magnum, the upper tier. The cartridge that reminds every hunter that power is not entertainment, it is responsibility. That is the truth about hunting ammunition in America. The best round is not always the biggest round. It is the right round for the animal, the distance, the rifle, the law, and the person behind the trigger. Choose wrong and power becomes a liability. Choose right, and the cartridge becomes part of the hunt itself. So build your battery with purpose. Train with honesty, respect the land, respect the animal, and never let internet hype choose your rifle for you. If you want straight talk on hunting rifles, cartridges, and the gear that actually matters when the weather turns bad and the shot window gets small, subscribe to the channel. Because out here, legends are not made by loud opinions. They are made by clean decisions.